Self-defense fitness. So what is self-defense fitness that makes it different from other kinds of fitness? Actually not a whole lot, with one exception. Now, make it a couple of exceptions. Any kind of physical encounter, whether it's grappling or striking or kicking, is very exhausting if you're not used to it. This goes for people that are in great shape too. A good illustration of that would be when I was in high school. I played football, and the football field was right by the pool, and all the guys that were on the swim team would practice the same time that we were practicing out in the field, and you know, we were sweating and it was hot, and I used to envy those guys. But the fact is, as good a shape as I was in for football, I could not have competed as a swimmer. Different muscles, different kind of cardio, and you know, it's just very different. So even if you play a sport, or even if you keep yourself in shape, it's often not good enough if you end up getting attacked. So how do you prepare for that? Well, there's basically three areas, and there are three areas that probably everybody needs to work on. And so the focus is flexibility, strength, and cardiovascular endurance. Now, any kind of working out is going to be to your benefit when it comes to defending yourself. But we can focus on certain things if your goal is to be fit to defend yourself. So within those three categories, we're looking at flexibility, strength, and cardiovascular endurance once again. We're going to break this down into three videos. The first one, this one, will be flexibility. And we're going to go through some simple techniques of stretching. Again, if you're in athletics, this may be old hat to you. Most of the time when I've taught this section, and I haven't taught it for a number of years because I kind of dropped it from the class, other than just the reading part, because there were so many other techniques to work on. But we have a different semester, and so we're gonna include it. So you can use this as a guide. You can go along with it, follow it. You can write down these exercises if you're interested. But I would say of all three, the ones to do the most are the stretching exercises. Flexibility is a problem for a lot of people, including athletes. And when it comes to getting out of a situation without hurting yourself, flexibility is really important. If you end up on the ground, it's terribly important just to be able to maneuver. If you end up striking or grappling standing up, flexibility will mean the difference between getting a major injury and not getting injured. So it's a good idea to work on it daily if you can. And the other, strength and cardiovascular fitness, I would say, you know, work on those several times a week. Realizing, of course, that you're in college, and it's hard when you're in college, but, you know, again, this is a different kind of experience. This is the COVID semester. Speaking of which, I'm not in the greatest shape myself right now. I usually kind of keep on top of things, but I've got the old COVID-19. Not quite 19, but I did put on some weight during this enforced quarantine. And that was my fault. I didn't work out as much as I should have, and I ate out of stress a lot more than I should have. So I'm probably in the same boat as a lot of you. And I know a lot of students come into the class and they haven't had a lot of experience in working out and staying in shape, and so it's a little bit challenging for some of them. So we're going to go through some stuff. Almost all of this is body weight exercise, including the strength and the cardiovascular endurance exercises. And some equipment could be used, but you can substitute other things if you don't have equipment. Certainly if you have a gym available, which there's not a whole lot of them available right now, But if you have a gym available, that's a good thing too. So we'll start out, we're going to do 25 stretching exercises, 25 flexibility exercises, and we're going to start out with one very simple. We're just going to take our necks and we're going to circle them around. Now, neck strength and flexibility may not seem all that important until you end up sustaining an injury. So I had a situation where I came very close to getting my neck broken a few years ago. It's affected me ever since, but because I was actively doing neck exercises and my neck was fairly strong at the time, I think that's probably why the injury wasn't worse than it was. So it's really a good idea to keep that neck flexible, and we'll look at a couple of strength building exercises for it later in another section. Okay, so generally speaking, anytime you're doing stretches or any kind of warm-ups, minimum 15 seconds, 20 seconds is probably better. The first 5 to 10 seconds, especially in stretches, everything kind of tightens up. You feel your joints kind of rebelling against that stretch. So after that initial tightening, things kind of loosen up a little bit. So you want to go at least 20 seconds. And then you would want to repeat each of these stretches 3 times. So 15 to 20 seconds, at least 3 times, and then move on to the next one. And again, do a little bit of this every day, and even if you're very inflexible, you'll be surprised at how flexible you can become. Okay, from there we're going to take our shoulders and we're going to roll them backwards. So roll them forward, roll them back, and now we're going to roll them back and forward, both ways. And again, I'm not going to go the full 15 seconds in this video because it'll make the video too long. I have kind of a limited amount of time I can have a video to have it go on YouTube, so I'm going to keep them a little bit shorter. But keep in mind that 15 to 20 seconds for each one, 3 repetitions of each set. Okay? Alright, the next one is another shoulder stretch. We're going to go across our body like that. I'm putting my hand right above my elbow on my triceps there, and I'm just pushing. And I'm going to hold that. Again, I'm doing it a little bit shorter time. And the other side. And you would hold that 15-20 seconds and then do 2 more sets. The next one is also a shoulder stretch. So I'm going to take my arm behind my head. I'm going to take my other hand on my elbow and I'm going to push it down. And hold that for the duration. Do your sets. Push it down. Okay. Just want to make sure I get all of our stretches in. Okay, shoulder pinches. So a shoulder pinch, we could also do this in the strength building, but the stretch is basically taking your shoulder blades and pulling your shoulders back and trying to make your shoulder blades, your scapula, touch. If you're very flexible, they actually will touch, but most of us can't do that. So I'm taking them back like this, and I'm holding them for a count of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, etc. If you do a lot of push-ups, which we're going to cover in the strength building, you want to do these also, because if you do 50 push-ups, you should do 50 of these shoulder pinches. What happens is a lot of people focus on certain muscles and it starts to deform things. And so I found out too late in life that I was focusing too much on exercises like push-ups and bench presses, and it was forcing my shoulders forward, kind of hunching me and causing all kinds of grief for my shoulders. So this is an exercise both to kind of loosen up your back muscles and also to keep your shoulders from getting overdeveloped in the front. Okay, so that's the shoulder pinch. Strap shoulder stretch. Okay, so we're going to take a belt, piece of rope, and we're going to wrap it around here and pull, and then raise our arms. So we're pulling like this, and you won't have a whole lot of strength pulling that way, but you pull out and lift up. Try to keep your body as straight as you can and hold that. Again, 15 to 20 seconds, rest, and then do two more sets. Okay, now we're going to start working on lower body a little bit. So this is a hamstring stretch, and it's a fairly easy one. By that I mean it's very easy on your hamstrings. So you take one foot and put it over the other, and then you breathe out and just drop down as low as you can go. And hold that. 2. Okay, again, that would be 15 seconds. And then do the other side. And what you'll find is the back leg, you'll feel the stretch in the back leg. Hamstrings are real important because if they're too tight, you can injure them doing a lot of different things. So 3 sets, 15-20 seconds each. Okay, pyramid pose. So pyramid pose, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clasp my hands in the back. I'm going to get one foot out, almost like our interview stance, except a little wider. I'm going to breathe out, and I'm going to go down like this and lift. And what you'll find is it stretches both your hamstring and your shoulders. And then we do the other side. Okay. Dancer. Okay, this is a quad stretch. If you need to, you can hold on to something when you're first learning how to do this, but working on balance is also a good thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my foot. I want to extend my hand, and if it helps you to sometimes for some people it helps to visualize a pole that you're holding on to, and then you just stretch like that. You can really feel that in your quadriceps here. Now, if you are pretty good with your balance and you're pretty good at this, you can slowly drop down and touch the floor and hold it there. And then we're going to do the other side, same thing. And again, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 3 sets. And if you're so inclined, drop down. But again, if that's hard for you to balance, start out by grabbing onto something. Get a chair, back of a chair or something. Okay. Side leg swings. So all we're doing here is just throwing our leg out and swinging it, boom, boom, like that. And I forget this one. I think you do need to hold on to something. It's real hard not to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, this is starting to work on your hips. Then the next one is forward swinging leg. So I may or may not need to balance myself on something for this, but I keep my legs straight and I'm just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whoa, 9, 10. Okay, that's both hamstring. If you keep your legs straight and pull your toes back, it'll be a hamstring stretch, and then works on your hips also. Triangle. So we want to get very wide. Again, kind of like our stance, interview stance or combat ready stance, except that instead of being 1 foot out like that, I have it in so it's almost lined up. Okay? So it's almost lined up. I get my arms like this, I take a deep breath, and I go down as far as I can. Now, if you can't go all the way down, you can go down to here. You can always work your way down as you're getting more flexible. This arm goes up. You can turn your head up and look up. That's hard for me to do because of my neck, but the main thing is just getting this stretch and getting a little stretch in the shoulder. And then we do the other side. (15 to 20 seconds), 3 sets. Now revolve triangle. With the triangle, I went down with this one. The revolve triangle or reverse triangle, I take this arm, and it's what you're going to feel. It's not terribly pleasant, but it's a kind of a the outside of your hamstring is going to get a much more of a workout here. So I take this arm and I twist and I go down. This arm, twist, and go down. Okay? So that's triangle and revolve triangle. Now some of these I'm giving you variations, so it'll end up more than actually 25. Okay, now we're going to go down to the ground, and you know what? I think the length of this video is such, I'm going to start another video and finish up the stretches in another video. So the next video will be stretches on the ground. So these are some stretches you can do while standing. The rest of them will be on the ground. Okay, see you in the next video.